The Green Deal is clearly giving a go to further accelerate the growth in offshore wind. In order to meet the energy goals, turbine manufacturers are not only ramping up the number of offshore wind farms, but also the number of megawatts each turbine can deliver. GE Renewable Energy was the first manufacturer to announce such a next-generation offshore wind turbine. It will be able to produce over 13 megawatts, will have a height of 260 meters, a diameter of 220 meters, and a head mass of over 800 tons. The question is, how will this impact GE's logistical supply chain? With us is Bart Gommeren, Managing Director of GE Renewable Energy, to tell us more. Bart, welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for having the opportunity being here. And let me take you to a quick presentation I have prepared on this subject. So as GE, we are really a tier one business within the whole group of companies, having the onshore and offshore wind businesses combined with LM Wind Power, who provide us the blades, and grid solutions providing the connections to the grid, as well hydro, and then coming to hybrid solutions, the combination of these different technologies, and all supported with digital services. The business reflects of total volume of approximately 15 billion of turnover in more than 80 countries and about 40,000 employees, and we have a very fair market share, as you can see on the slides. So, as offshore wind, we have a footprint all over the globe, with having our main offices in Nantes, France, headquarters of offshore wind, supported by services out of Hamburg, Barcelona, and in the US, and as well China. I will come in further details. So the key locations for the manufacturing are in France, with our factory in Saint-Nazaire, and we're in the location where we produce the generators and the nacelles, so the assembly, as well of in Cherbourg, where we do the production of the blades, the new blades developed for this Haliade X. And we are fully in the process of building up our factory in Guangdong in China. So, as already mentioned, we are really shaping the future. So the Haliade X is the world's most powerful offshore wind turbine in operation today. So we have our demo site in Hamburg, and that served as a good reference to convince our clients to select this turbine for the largest projects. So Dogger Bank has selected the Haliade X for their project in totally of 3.6 gigawatt. This success was very recently announced and directly followed by another commitment from another large offshore wind player, being Ørsted, selected the Haliade X for the US project, being Skipjack and Ocean Wind. So clearly demonstration that we are moving from Europe towards a project in US, as afterwards then Asia coming up as well. So to go first, before we go to further details on the manufacturing plants, I clearly want to state to the audience that safety is a top priority for GE. So keep that in mind in every moment that you work together and that we are in relation to keep the health and safety policies in mind. So what does that mean for health and safety for our logistics and transport activities? Is that we have clearly a stop of operation policy. So if we see something impacting our daily operations, or if we see something with potential hazards, any means, anybody has the right to stop and to take preventive actions and actions to improve the situation and to lower the risk. So we really want to minimize the risks in our operations. So for that, to minimize the risk in our operations, it's important that we have a risk management tool in place before we do any load out or any lifting or any maneuver on deck of the vessel or in the harbor itself. So all this risk assessment will give us then the opportunity that we have clear defined method statements and that they are well recorded and available to all parties. So that we have also a system in place to work with work permits and that we have that all documented in very clear supplier health and safety requirements. So to go now to where logistics and transport can help us is that we have our manufacturing facilities in Saint-Nazaire, where we produce the components as generator and nacelle. And once we have assembled, we will transport these components to the marshalling harbor. A next important facility in the whole portfolio of manufacturing facilities for GE are the different manufacturing facilities of LM Wind Power, where they produce both the onshore and offshore blades to our turbines and to our complete portfolio of wind turbines. And LM Wind Power is a company belonging or affiliate company within the GE group, but also provide services and products to non-GE turbine producers. All these activities for transport and logistics are handled through our organization for project management operation. I go now further in detail. So the PME, project management operations, PMO, as named here and abbreviated, handles the main components as the nacelle. You see here on the slide the diameters, large diameters and sizes of this nacelle, and the tower elements going up to a total tower length of 111 meters. Depending on the project, we split this towers element on 2 or 3 sections. And the manufacturing sites for these towers will depend on the project locations. For the blades, we are here the world record holder of a blade of 107 meters with the rotor, or diameter at the root of 5 meters. These blades will be handled in specially dedicated transport frames to be able that we can transport these ones. So it's really a need to have the best-in-class support for this kind of transport, both for outbound transport as well the activities on the marshalling hub. And for that, to the people listening to this webinar, it's really a question from our side towards you to take a proactive approach for your logistic and transport activities, that you come with innovative solutions and that we can go for long-term relationship. So that means as well that we have dedicated and special requirements, mainly technical driven, to this vessel transporting all these components, because all these components are getting bigger, larger and heavier. So we will have dedicated specifications for having lifting vessels, including crane curves, lifting plans, and also how we store the components on the deck of the vessel. As well, how stable is this vessel and what are the maximum accelerations and calculations on cargoes, etc. So again, to give an overview, the vessel technical requirements, again, as said before, each EHS, risk assessment and method statements are really crucial topics for us in this respect. Here you see a few pictures on how we transport this cargo. On the left top side, you see the transportation of the nacelle. On the right-hand side, on top, the large blades, and then the different pieces of the towers transported up to the marshalling hub. So if you have any questions after this webinar and for the long term, please contact my colleagues at the Nantes office. Florent Longepy is heading a whole team of people specialized in this kind of operations. Thank you.